So, Ju,
Yes.
do you consider yourself a content creator?
You're listening to...
Jom Sembang, Malaysia.
Actually, no, I don't.
Okay, that's a very interesting answer lah. Because I think a lot of the people nowadays, it's very hard to differentiate between a content creator and not. Because everyone is creating content.
Okay.
I mean, indirectly, right? Even as an artist yourself, you also feel like you have to create content lah.
Okay.
I mean, before social media, you don't have to.
I mean, right now we are creating content.
Yeah, but I wouldn't like. So some people will actually look at my profile. I don't know about you, and say, "Oh, Gina is a content creator," and I will die not wear the label.
Oh, okay, you also. Okay.
Because I feel like content creator was a byproduct of what I do.
Okay.
So it's not like I wake up and I'm a content creator. So every day I sit down and think about what content to create.
Yes.
I don't.
Yes.
That is not my primary job
Yes.
concern. Okay.
Yes.
My job is I wake up, I do my marketing campaign for my clients, or I do our producing job for our programs or our other initiative.
Yeah.
And content creation is a byproduct of all that because I needed it as a marketing tool to push other things out. Okay. But even on my own, like I write my books, right?
Yeah.
For me, I want to wake up and write books first. I don't create content about writing books first.
Betul.
So that's why I don't like it when people call me a content creator. Even though they look at the whole profile and they say, oh, Gina got do YouTube lah, songs and story YouTube.
Yeah.
Then Gina produce songs. Then Gina does other people's social media. Then Gina does her own social media, which is not very strategized because I just do it for fun. You see, that's the thing. I do it for fun. You know, but people see podcasts, there's audio creation, there's video creation, there's visual creation. And it's all Gina is a content creator.
Correct. So, okay. If somebody said Gina is a content creator, it would not be wrong. Because you do create content.
Yeah,
correct?
But it's not my job.
It's not your job, correct. But you do create content. It's like you do things which are creating content. Even we are creating a podcast, which is content. But the content is not the end all of it. It is not the reason we wake up in the morning to create content.
It's my byproduct lah, I call it.
Padahal, actually, content creation is a buzzword now. It's influencers. Influencers is like the top rung of content creators.
So that's the thing, right? If you actually talk to influencers and content creators, they will tell you it's two different things.
Okay.
We, the mass
Explain
people, said it's the same. Influencers are the one like, I influence people. I might use content to influence people, but influencer is more of like, I have a following that I can influence.
How did they get the following?
Content creator is more of like, they create content for people to watch. They don't really care about the following.
Oh, okay.
I just like to create content. People watch my content. People praise my content. Say I'm very smart or whatever. I'm happy, you know. And in fact, influencer is like, it's not the content. I just like to influence people to buy this thing. Or I want to influence people to believe in this cause or whatever. That is their primary role.
Okay,
but they do create content to have the influence communication pass through lah.
Okay, rewind skit. So, content creators, you're saying, based on what your definition was, they like creating content. So the content could be, okay lah, could be reaction video, or it could be, oh, I drink this coffee today, oh, my selfie, oh, my cat.
Correct.
And they enjoy that. Okay lah, I cannot deny that, of course, you get the... What is it? The cortisol spike. When people like, and then you have a lot of followers. So you can't really say that they create content and don't really care whether they have a following or not. Because
I think more of the interaction. So for me, right, a lot of content creators said they are interested to create a content. Okay? So of course, content, they need advertisers to come in order to continue making the money.
Okay.
All right. So they are not primary focus on influencing people with the content.
Okay, faham.
Okay,
Yes,
so it
yes,
could be
yes,
just
yes.
entertainment or whatever. Not,
Yeah.
Okay? But influencer has a different definition.
Okay.
It's like they're actually out there to influence people to believe in a certain cause. They're out there to influence people to purchase a certain item.
Okay.
So that is more sales driven compared to come watch me, I'm TV, I'm Netflix.
Yes.
To come watch me, I'm an ad. If that makes any sense.
Okay. So then my question is, therefore, in order to become a legit influencer, and when I say legit, I mean the numbers lah. I mean you have a X number of following. You would have had to create some content first to get...
Correct.
Unless you already have your craft of your own. Yeah. Right? Like an author, you're a creator of something, or you're a lecturer, and then become an influencer in your
In
own
your
right
field,
because of
correct.
who you are.
Correct.
Because people who are influencers, just by virtue of being an influencer, and I'm not sure if they're got right people. Maybe by virtue of their charisma or
Correct. They're out
the
there
way
to
they talk.
influence. They sell more of their brand. Personal branding is very important for influencer. For content creator, it's not the first
Yes,
thing.
yes.
It's their content branding that's
Correct.
more important. Yeah.
Correct. Okay.
So that totally different ballgame lah. So I get a bit irritated when people call me the content creator. Because I don't think I'm an influencer or a content creator. But if I have to choose between the two, I rather choose influencer.
Okay.
Because I find that I advocate for stuff more than I create content. Like I advocate for Malaysian writers.
Yes.
You call me an influencer for Malaysian writing, go ahead.
Yeah.
I will claim it.
Yeah.
You know?
But with pride, right?
If you call me a content creator for Malaysian writers, click, where's you know, it's like, yeah. So I'm just trying to define the definition of it because a lot of people out there just lump it all together.
Okay.
But actually, if you look at it really separately, and if you are choosing one path, going one path, you know the definition and you go in, right? The way you earn money and the way you succeed is very different.
True.
You can't go in and go like, I'm a content creator, stroke influencer, stroke. You stroke all you want, right?
Yeah.
Your money also divide, nothing comes in.
True.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is one thing I wanted to highlight lah, because I find that people throw the word content creator at other people who's online more actively too easily.
Okay.
Yeah. So in your case, like if, for example, if we didn't do podcasts, if we didn't do video production, then would people still call you a content creator?
I don't think so.
So you become an influencer?
I'd like to think I influence people without having to try to be one, but yeah.
Yeah. But I kind of see why people think that back then, right? I think influencer was a word that's a little bit more prominently linked to me lah. Because when we started last time, there's the blogger.com, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was like one of the first few that is active in the scene, active as in everyday blogging one.
Yeah.
So when we have blogging conference, you see me there along with other bloggers who blog all the time. And I remember back then, it wasn't like a content, like we don't call ourselves content creation person.
The word wasn't even a thing.
Yeah, it wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
But we were writing contents lah.
Yes.
It's just that whether it's a public content or a personal encounter content. Like Dear Diary, blah, 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 blah. Or it could be like, hey, come and eat at restaurant ABC, like food reviews or whatever, right? Then from there, we move on to Facebook.
Yeah.
So Facebook was also like, I would consider myself quite a pioneer back then.
Yeah.
Because I would have clients to say that hire me to just do Facebook management. And back then, you don't have all this system where you can schedule your post one.
Yes.
You
So you have to wake up and
post, and then you must, you don't have report one. They have the analytics. If your client asks you how many people like my post, then you must go there, screenshot 400, 322 or whatever. That. Very manual.
Yeah.
So I was also at the beginning of there, right?
Okay.
Then we moved to Twitter.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Currently known as
Twitter,
X.
microblogging. So you have blogging, then you have Facebook, the social media. Then after that, you have Twitter, now known as X. Okay, so Twitter was one that I only got on because that time I have a lot of books published.
Yeah.
I was at my peak of my writing career, and a lot of people were like hashtagging me. And I don't exist there.
Okay.
Okay, so because of that, I joined Twitter because I had so many people hashtagging me that it doesn't make sense not to exist.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? So I jumped into Twitter and I started joining. Then when Instagram came along, again, I'm like, wow, not enough lah. I got so many other platforms, right?
Every time there's a new social media, you go like, oh man.
Correct. But again, Twitter makes sense because my target audience were there.
Yes.
Like they were actively talking about books and writing. Twitter makes sense, right? But after that, they start to do book review, photos and stuff like that, which makes more sense of Insta. So again, I found myself there because of that.
Yeah.
That Instagram, right? So it started with all this thing, and when I started, it was all personal documentation when I first started social media lah.
Okay.
So then a lot of people always see me as the social media person. Because among my peers, I'm like the first one lah. But I'm also the first one is because all my peers are all office workers. Like, they don't have fans who talk about you on social media like me, that I'm forced to join lah.
Yes.
So they always see me as the pioneer in social media. Then when I started create a lot of content, they start to label social content creator lah. So yeah, I just thought like quite interesting to track sometime where the term come from.
So I like to call myself now a creative activist. Because I was trying to find where do I stand, right? It's like, I have a problem creating content. Like when I travel, I like to be so in the moment that I forget to take photos.
Okay.
And I think it's just a Gen X thing lah. I forget to take photos. And then I see the other people around me like, wow, so fast. So always like, oh, they took photo. Yeah, by the time I'm like too late already. Moment has passed.
Okay.
Then
It's not a bad thing.
I take photo already, right? Then I don't post it because I overthink, right? And then it'll be like, I just came back from somewhere. Probably tomorrow baru. And tomorrow is already good, It could be a week after. But then I thought about what I try to do, which is really when I do create content in a way, it is to bring attention to something. Like when we did Songs and Stories, it was to bring attention to the wealth that we have in Malaysia when everybody was talking about negative stuff.
Okay.
Right? So in that way, there's a creative activism happening. When we do this podcast, it is to talk about things that people generally maybe don't talk about, or share our thoughts. And therefore, there is a level of wanting to say something but not say in your face, and therefore it's a conversation. If music was an inspiring thing, is also, in a sense, is doing things creatively. Because I don't see myself going out there much and then give a talk about, women's rights or whatever, right? But I'd rather do things by telling a story or singing a song. So in that sense, my content or that creativity, I don't know, does content and creativity go together? I suppose it has to, right? Otherwise, how to create? Yeah. So, I would, now I have started putting that on my
to-do list.
Not on my to-do list. Yeah, I should. I did once and then, cannot keep up. On my description. So in my bio, you'll find it on my description in my socials. This creative activist thing lah. So
okay, hold that thought.
Yeah.
So after the break, I want to talk about, does it mean that we need to create content in order to be successful on social media?
Ooh. This episode is brought to you by Joy Luck Penang. Situated in Tanjung Bunga, it is a house with a difference. It's surrounded by greens. It's a lovely place where you have the space to hang out with friends, or you could just organize an event, capacity building, training event, or you could just hang out and jam with the instruments that are provided for free for you. So look it up on your socials, Joy Luck Penang.
So what I want to talk about this is, right, for example, like you, your other friends, a lot of artists, not the younger artists, the more senior artists lah, okay, the more veterans lah, okay.
Kita veteran.
Okay.
Wah.
Always seems to come to me with the same challenge. Gina, all this social media thing very tiring, And then I don't know how the youngest one do. They keep doing so easily. And then they get more follower. And then they follow 10 times my follower. But I'm in the industry 30 years longer than them, So it's always been like a serious challenge, I find it. Serious as in, yes, the numbers does affect job opportunities now. Like it or not, it's not just skills anymore, The equalness of seeing the numbers and your skill, then they decide whether to give you a job or not. Right? So at what length should people who are not content creators go in creating content in order to have a balance or a successful or a prominent positioning or awareness on social media? You think?
I used to think that we should embrace it as part of the job, right? Because they say music business is not just music, it is business. Okay? So in a sense that you want to create, it's part of the strategy to reach people, to be more accessible. And then on the other hand, right, people tell you shouldn't be so accessible because then your prestige goes down, right? Or stuff like that. So there was a point when I felt like maybe I'm not doing enough to boost the social media, especially when you see your other colleagues, your friends, it's all like, like extra digit behind you, 2 extra digits, 3 extra digits behind you. But everything is relative, isn't it?
Correct.
Like I was hanging out with another artist who is younger than me, but lives in a country that has a population that has extra 0, I think, behind. Extra digit. Then it makes sense that her
following should have another extra 0.
Correct.
Otherwise, it's even worse failure.
Betul. So in that sense, sometimes you have to take that into account, take the market into account. Like I realized that, okay, mine is a bit more of an English niche. And therefore I want to compare it to somebody in the BM speaking niche, then different lah.
Yeah.
Lain sikit lah. So all that.
It's almost like me and my Malay writing books lah. Writing Malay books lah.
Yeah.
Okay, so instead of like having 10,000 English readers and 100,000 Malay readers, of course I must have a zero behind my following. Otherwise, I quite fail lah as a Malay writer.
Something like that lah. Something I suppose lah. Then there was this conversation that I had with family. So my brother is also in the music scene. He's a lot more rajin than me. I don't know how he does it. But his like social content is like, he has done quite well lah. I think one day he woke up and said, I'm going to just push this. And
my question is, when I look at his content, I feel that he hired someone to do it. Like there is someone doing it. He's not doing it on his own.
So by that virtue, he does have a wife to help him shoot. He does have kids to hold the camera sometimes.
That makes a difference.
Correct.
Totally.
So whether or not, but I do think that he does a lot of it on his own. But sometimes you can tell if you're playing and the camera is moving, then hello. Right.
But look, I think looking at his content, I would feel that, okay, him as an artist or as an influencer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, has hired someone to do social media for him.
Okay.
That's what I feel. It's because a lot of his shots you cannot shoot on your own one.
Correct. Betul.
And also, he's not the kind of person who should shoot on his own. He's not the one like Gina put a tripod and walk away from it and walk back one.
Correct.
So that tells
he has
me,
help. I wouldn't say he hired somebody, but he's got.
That's what I meant. You have a help lah. You have someone assigned to do it.
Betul.
Okay, whether the person is paid or not, I don't really care lah. Okay.
So in that sense, he did wake up one morning and go, no, I need to do this, and I'm gonna enlist people around me.
But
to
you can
help me
see
do
the
that.
jump ever since he had that decision.
Yes, and it's affected the type of jobs that he gets.
Correct.
Also, okay. So, but we were having this conversation, right? And one day, I think Zach, who is working in influencer marketing, and then he said, but on the other hand, right, if you want to fight with the people who are excelling, that is their main job, you're never going to win.
Correct.
So what you need to do is be who you are and try and maximize who you are and not think that I need to keep up with the other influencers whose main job is doing this. Like, we are still creating stuff. We're still creating music. We're doing production. We're doing... and all those are food for content. So you need to kind of milk that to use all those opportunities to put out and tell people what you're doing lah. Okay, so that's one. And then remember the other day we were also talking about how maybe not having to be everywhere, but taking one in focus. So when I look back at my socials, right, there was a point when I was traveling a lot to sing, and I remember taking photo everywhere. You know, it's just like I wasn't overthinking it. Like now, at that point, I remember, okay, Insta, and I remember. So my Facebook page is my highest following now.
Only because your Instagram got hacked.
Yeah, that's what I was also going to say. So it also was because maybe timing is everything also lah. When I started, when I was most active, Facebook was at its most, that one. And then Instagram was doing pretty well, and then I got hacked, got stolen. I haven't even reached what I had that time with my current account.
Okay.
I haven't even reached that number yet. Don't talk about. Although I can see that, when I go out, you can see it climb. You will climb, and then all that lah. But I think I've been thinking about whether I should focus the content on one platform and let it grow and berlambung even more, rather than to wear myself thin trying to... Like sometimes I go like, my ex haven't posted anything last Friday. Then I better post something now. And I don't know what to post. Because I can't post a story there. And then, right, that sets up everything that entirely stops my content for the other things. So I'm thinking, because I need to put something on X. So that's just
but
me.
I think that's totally different from what you said about milking your process because you're a creative people, right?
Yeah.
So I think every time I meet someone like you,
yeah,
let's say an artist or like your brother, whatever, right?
Yeah.
They always ask me, how can I leverage on social media to be as strong or at least a level game with the younger content creator? My same advice is same advice again. Just hire someone to shoot your content for you. Content creators, they wake up every morning. This is my script. This is the storyline I shoot. That is content creator.
Yeah.
But as an artist, right, I always say you don't have to wake up and say, today shoot what? You just live your life, hire someone to follow you. That's it. You go for an event, don't go alone. Bring your social media shooter. Shoot.
Have my own social content creator.
Correct.
Shooter.
And you don't have to tell the person what to shoot. Because
Hopefully.
that person, in a way, right, you're supposed to give a slice of your life to your fans, ma. It's not supposed to be scripted, ma.
Yeah.
So why does the person need a brief? As long as the person know, okay, I'm doing a day in the life of Juwita, that's it.
Correct lah, but you know some people nowadays, common sense, not so common sense.
Well, if you hire the younger people, you don't even have to brief. It's automatic to them.
Okay.
So I always tell a lot of the artist friends that come to me and say, "Aya, very stressful lah, don't know what to post lah." And then I take one photo, cannot post. You take one photo, I also cannot post what? You shoot one video, right? You never shoot yourself coming in. Suddenly you shoot just drinking.
Yeah.
How to think, right?
So like now I'm thinking about it, right? Now right here in the podcast today, I'm thinking, actually got content opportunity here, right? But then I'm thinking, I think in what
you
angle?
cannot be doing it and shooting it yourself.
Betul.
So
Okay lah.
for me, I say just hire someone. I say 100 ringgit or 200 ringgit. Don't spend too much on it because you don't need a professional YouTube cinematography shot. You know, you just need someone who know how to use a handphone and shoot. And if you don't want the person to edit, because you want better control of your content, then you edit yourself. But it doesn't work for you because you overthink it. Okay. Otherwise, the other person normally it's very fast. You know, the job scope now is at the market you just hire 100 to 200 a day, right? The person will bring everything. Should you follow you every day? No script one. You just roughly you just tell I go in this, this. That's it. You get permission for the person to go in.
Yeah.
Shoot. At the end of the event, that night, before you sleep, the edited video has been sent to you. It's up to you to upload. And that's how artists can then focus on what they do. Instead of, as they do halfway, 50%, okay, what should I shoot now?
Yeah.
And then sing halfway, wait, I'm not shoot now. Then you lose both. Because your focus is divided. Then you both also lose, because you don't feel satisfaction.
Correct.
And then you feel a frustration. And then after that, you look at your footage, you feel double frustration. So I didn't do well at my footage and I didn't do well at my actual job.
Okay lah. Thankfully, I can still focus on
for
my...
example lah. It's still a distraction, right?
Yeah.
So the same time, every time someone like your category comes in, right? And I will just say, hello, just hire someone lah.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look like you can reap the fruits. Gina, 100 ringgit. If 10 event, 1,000 ringgit. Then I will just say, put it in your event budget lah.
True, so.
If you're charging
because your event is also getting the mileage by posting about it, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah.
So you just put it in lah. Put 200 ringgit so that you can bring someone along to shoot things that benefits both you and your client. Because you got to post and then you got to tag them. Some client, they look at the artist, right? These artists always tag their clients, right? They
mileage,
just join.
Right?
That makes the entire following helps, right?
Yeah.
So it keeps you active as well because let's say once a week you have a gig or a recording or whatever.
Or something lah.
That's enough content already. And there are many students out there who will do it.
Okay.
Like the part-time university lah, the university student lah, they just need 100 ringgit. Okay, what? They will do it, what, you know? And then they get to shake hands with all the big people in the industry who thinks, what you think,
No, or you just get to see a day in the life. If you want to be a podcast creator and then you come and then you see, okay, this is how
so
it
even
runs,
if you have to vet the person who do it, just look at their Instagram lah. See what they have been shooting. You like what they shoot? Yes, then just hire.
Yeah.
Like even for yourself, like I think a few times when I follow you, I decide having to do producing job, right? Shooting Juwita. Then she turned around, sound check. Gina's camera right in front of me.
Yeah.
Can see one, and then I will put all together and say, these are the footage you go edit yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that is very helpful in a way. So
That's
for
true.
example, like myself, right? If I'm running a full concert, I also don't want to shoot myself.
Yeah.
Because it's quite nuisance.
Correct.
Okay, I rather hire someone and say, I don't care what you shoot.
Yeah.
You follow me the whole day. There must be a little bit of before concert prep, during prep, and then you must see, I want to see audience and me. I want to see the rest. I don't care how you shoot. You shoot. You just pass it to me at the end of the day, done, I pay you. That's it.
Correct.
And I'm happy because then I just have a content out of it. Instead of like, sometimes I work so hard, right? Then I don't post anything, right?
Yeah.
Then I'll look and say, I never do anything the whole year.
Or not just you, other people. So like I just came back from judging a Borneo International Vocal Arts Festival. Wow, so grand. And then I came back and like I said lah, how come I got like no photos. But then you see, takkan I be taking photo of me as a judge? Like so strange.
Young people do that lah.
I can't be taking a photo. I've got photos of my name with the flag and everything, and the backdrop and everything. But it's like, and I can't be taking photos of the competitor, participant. Macam pelik sikit, right? But I think what would make it real is the interactions, right? When you're talking with people, but takkan I'm talking to you and take photo of me talking to you.
Correct.
You cannot.
That's why
a third party.
Yeah. concern it. Live on the podcast advice.
Free consultation.
Yeah. But actually, if you say you're taking photos, if you're taking a photo consistently, for example, one at the plane, one at the hotel, one at your name card together with the judging stage, and then one together with the rest of
already
the you already have 4 things that tell a story.
Correct. Betul.
Right? And that's already sufficient to begin with if you don't want to hire someone lah.
Correct.
But the thing about people is they like to see your face on your social media lah.
That's the thing lah.
So
I know,
that's why hiring someone makes sense lah.
Yeah.
Okay?
So would those people that I hire, would they be considered content
Yeah.
creators?
So content creators does not just create content for themselves.
Okay.
They can create content for other people.
Or companies.
But I always think that the younger generation are good at it because they are born in that era.
Yeah.
And we are not as good or slower, should leverage on them by giving them chance because they want to shoot content but they
Nothing
don't have
to
the
shoot.
experience. Or they don't have the subject.
Yeah.
And you are the subject. So please go and collaborate lah.
Okay. Kalau ada yang nak try untuk position ni, sila reach out lah dari social media ke Instagram. Saya kat Instagram, Facebook, X pun ada, Threads pun ada. Jom Sembang Malaysia is hosted by 2 Malaysians who are passionate about Malaysian stuff. Stay tuned every week for a brand new Sembang session with Juwita Suwito and Gina Yoong. Today's episode is recorded at Studio 2105. Remember to click like and subscribe for a brand new episode next week.